Hello, College Algebra. Welcome to week 5. We're going to cover chapter 9 this week. Note that you have gotten through a lot of the materials so far, so all you have left is chapter 9 this week, chapter 10 next week, and the final exam. One thing I do want to point out is when it comes to the final exam, on the very bottom of your assignments, there is this practice math 112 cumulative final exam. I highly recommend that while you are studying for your final exam. It is ungraded, but make sure you go through it. So chapter 9 homework, we're going to get into some probability. When you look at this, what this question is asking for is the probability that x is less than 2. So the answer that they're looking for here is A, because 0 and 1 are both less than 2. Note that if you were looking at B, this is less than or equal to 2, because 2 is included. C would be greater than 2. 3 and 4 are both greater than 2. For D, that's greater than or equal to 2. So this question is asking about that greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. Do you understand those pieces? Less than 2 would be A. There are also a couple of questions that ask about the expected value. What the expected value is if any of you are familiar with Excel, it's your sum product. So if it's already as the probability, what you're going to do is multiply your value of x, which in this right here is 0, times your probability of 0, which is 0.13. 0 times 0.13, which is going to be 0. You're going to then add to it the x, so 1, times the probability of 1, 0.23. 1 times 0.23. So at this point in time, we have 0 times 0.13 plus 1 times 0.23. Then we're going to add to that 2 times 0.22 plus 3 times 0.12 all the way up to 7 times 0.02. So here we're going to have 0 plus 0.23 plus 0.44 plus 0.36 all the way up to plus 0.14. And then what we're going to do is add all those together, and that will give you the expected value. The twist a question like this has, note that you can make this a little bit bigger. You would have to do 1 times 0.15 because 0.15 is going to be the probability of 1 plus 2 times 0.2. If you need to use a piece of paper or a ruler to make sure that you're going back to the correct number, definitely make sure you do that. You're going to do that all the way up to 5 times 0.30. And then you're going to add those pieces together to get the expected value for a question like that. The twist to a question like this is, so a raffle offers the first prize of $1,000, second prize of $300, 23rd prizes of $10 each. If 10,000 tickets are sold at 25 cents each, find the expected winnings for a person buying one ticket. So what's going to happen here is how many total prizes are there? There's 1 first place, 2 second places, and 23rd place prizes. And you have to note as well, the person that wins is going to win what? $1,000 minus the 25 cents that they had paid for it. So that's $999.75 that if they win first place. It's also 300 minus that 25 cents, $299.75. So, and here your $10 minus your 25 cents, $9.75. So there's a little trick to that question. After you get through the expected value piece, they'll start asking you if the distribution is valid. For a distribution to be valid, the probabilities have to add up to 100% or 1.00 because 100% is 1.00. And so as you go through, here if we add 0.20 plus 0.20 plus 0.20 plus 0.20 plus 0.20, we get 1. Since it adds up to 1, that distribution would be valid. If it did not add up to 1, then the distribution would not be valid. So when it asks you to add the missing probability, what you need to do is add up all the given probabilities. In this case, 0.04 plus 0.13 plus 0.28 plus 0.49 plus 0.01. If you add them all together, you're going to get 0.95. So that means since everything has to add up to 1, the missing probability has to be 0.05. For this one, ask yourself, if I have 95 cents, how much more do I need to make a dollar? 5 more cents, 0.05. Note when you get to section 9.2 homework, it's going to start with simplify 7 factorial. So what 7 factorial means is it wants you to multiply 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 all the way, so you have to go all the way to 1. So it's multiplying whatever number it is by every integer that's smaller than it all the way down to 1. This is also something that you could use a calculator for. If you Google a factorial calculator, or many calculators do have that factorial button on it. And then you're going to get into combinations. When you have the combination, you have two choices. You're either going to have to solve using those factorials, or the easier thing to do is going to be to use your calculator. The way you would enter this into your calculator is to solve 9 choose 3 is going to be 9, and then you're going to get into your probability setting to get that capital C, which will look like the NCK, and then you'll put the 3 and then you can hit enter. There's also online calculators that will help you with this. So I'm going to include this link. This would be if n is 7, it will calculate 7 factorial, which is 5,040. 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. It'll also walk you through exactly what a factorial is. A good combination calculator would be, so we need to do 10 choose 2. A good calculator would be if I go in here, for my n, I'm going to put my 10. For my r, I'm going to put my 2. I'm going to calculate. So it's going to give me 45. So it's telling me that 10 choose 2 is 45. If I go back to my homework and I put in my 45, it'll tell me we did a great job. So note that there's going to be a lot of different problems throughout this. There's a lot of word problems in chapter 9. Don't get frustrated. I've been trying to give some of you guys the hint. Even if you're not quite sure where to start, you can always copy and paste the question and either put it into Google or give it to your tutors. And a lot of times it'll give you some type of hint that's going to help you. Something like this one, a shipment of 8 computers contains 4 with defects. Find the probability that a sample size 2 drawn from 8 will contain no defective computers. So this is going to be one that you're going to have to do what? Find out the probability from 8 choose 2, then what's the probability that you're going to find that defective computer, which it's a 50% chance that any of those computers is going to be defective. Good luck this week, and I will be here for questions if you have any. Talk to you soon.